I've gotten my temporary residency. I stayed here for 3 years. I got my permanent residency here in Serbia, and I can do as I please, except for vote as a citizen. But I have permanent residency. I'm pretty much a citizen. Nothing can go wrong. I cannot lose my permanent residency. That is wrong. That is something we're going to cover in this video, and we're going to talk about the 5 ways that you can lose your permanent residency here in Serbia and how to avoid them. So stay tuned. Now, of course, coming here to Serbia, you want to do your temporary residency, and you have to be a temporary resident for 3 years at the current time here in 2025 before you can apply for your permanent residency. And these rules may change, and that's something that we here at Relocation Serbia do, is we have a team of lawyers, advisors, business professionals that stay on top of these rule changes, but also help individuals like yourself perhaps that I've maybe perhaps come to Serbia a couple times, visited and said, hey, listen, I enjoy Serbia. I want to make it my home and I want to get my temporary residency. What is the process? Stay here for 3 years, and then we'll help them obtain their permanent residency and then even get their package together when it comes time to apply for citizenship, which is something that we don't have control over. That's up to the government depending on how you've integrated, but we can still set those packages up. But today we're going to talk about the permanent residency because there's a lot of differences that are from the temporary residency to the permanent residency. Now, the biggest one when it comes to the differences between the two and how you can lose your permanent residency is by being outside of the country too long. And I'm going to touch on that in a bit because some people have contacted me through emails and various other means of saying, hey, listen, I had my permanent residency and I had to leave for a family emergency. What is my next steps? Am I kind of dismissed? Am I, SOL essentially? So we're going to talk about that as well. But number one that we want to talk about is if you get into serious legal or security violations here in Serbia. Now, if you get into a major criminal conviction here, if you have any activities that endanger the public safety here, or any actions that are considered threat to national security, you can most definitely, and I believe this is for any country, except for Canada for that matter, but that's a topic for another day. And some of you that have met me, you know what I'm talking about. But if you have any of those types of convictions or concerns when it comes to being here in Serbia by the Serbian officials, those are grounds for you to lose your permanent residency, and there is no pass go, there is no refund on the money that you've spent on your temporary residency, on your taxes, on your filings, or any of that. It's basically you are out once the judge hits that gavel, and you are on your way out. So make sure that you steer clear of any sort of criminal activity, threats to national security, or something that may hinder you. Use your common sense and think about it. Is this going to affect me? Is this something that I actually want done to me if you're committing a crime? And that will tell you, gauge your common sense if you have any. But some people don't have common sense, and some people will get into trouble. However, also on that note, don't get into the wrong crowd here in Serbia. Just because a Serbian citizen is doing it doesn't mean it's okay for you. A citizen has different rules, unfortunately, when it comes to being a citizen and a permanent residency. You still have, it's still not your country. You're just a resident here and not a citizen. So you do not have all the liberty as a resident as you would a citizen. Now, You may also be ordered to leave Serbia if you are a repeat violator of Serbian laws. So if you are, not getting any of these criminal convictions, but smaller crimes that may be misdemeanors or whatever, you may be ordered to leave Serbia because, if you can't understand what's right and wrong here in Serbia, they might just say, hey, listen, this guy is not cut out for living here, and we just want him out because we don't need that type of people here. And, we do, again, have criminal lawyers that can kind of help you out and guide you in that sense as well. And for those that ask, Andre, we get this question quite often: where do you work? We see that you're physically in Novi Sad, but do you work in Belgrade? Yes, we work in Belgrade, we work in Novi Sad. Those are the two main areas that we work in. We have a team in both cities, and so we can facilitate any of your residency questions or processes in either city. And then even getting down into some of the other cities, we can help you out as well. But we're primarily in Belgrade and Novi Sad. The other one you might be ordered to leave Serbia is that if you are deemed a risk to public order. So if you're someone that is perhaps at the front lines of these protests, and the government doesn't like that and notices that you are a permanent resident, they might tell you, hey, listen, time to pack your stuff and head on out of here, because we already have our hands full with the citizens here in Serbia. And so that might be just a way that they thin out the process and what's happening here. Again, I've mentioned in other videos, it's not something that you actually have to be worried about here if you're coming to visit, if you're coming to move here. However, if you're going to be a part of some of these, civil unrest, as many governments like to call it, you may be ordered to take a hike. And so, there's nothing you can do once that order has been made. The third one is that if you commit some sort of fraud or misrepresentation, and this is something that, you might think that might not happen very much. You would be surprised how many times that we get contacted by people saying, I set up a business in Serbia and I'm out of the country and I need to come in on a business visa. And they send us a bunch of photoshopped paperwork that is almost kindergarten-like and could not ever pass as an official document, but people try. And if you somehow get past a temporary process of here and then they find out that you falsified your documents, then you're going to be told to actually get out. So if you fake or your personal details in any way, those are grounds for getting sent out of here, even if you have your permanent residency. If you're hiding important information, so we get a lot of people that are saying, hey, listen, we want to set a business up here, we want to get a bank account, or we just want to get a bank account here without setting up a business or residency. And so, essentially money laundering, that could be grounds for getting you sent out of the country. So if you are bringing in money into Serbia, even as a permanent residency, and aren't declaring it properly, especially through a business, those could be grounds on you getting your permanent residency canceled here and lose that. And so the other one is, like I mentioned at the beginning of this point here, is submitting fraudulent documents. It's very astonishing to see how many people actually are trying to fake documents and trying to get things done without actually sending in their passports, sending little screenshots of a little piece of paper, whatever it might be. We're not stupid here at what we do. We do everything legally, lawfully, and so we don't want to get ourselves into trouble, and we don't want you as our client to get in trouble either. And so that's why we do everything above board and making sure that it's within law. And so, you know, fraud and misrepresentation isn't our deal here. And if that's something that you're looking to do as an individual that is seeking temporary residency, permanent residency, you know, you can bark up another tree when it comes to that. The fourth one is something that I brought up at the beginning of this video is the extended absence in Serbia. So when you have a temporary residency here in Serbia, you must be in Serbia for 183 days out of a year to maintain that temporary residency. And then after that, you can leave and travel the world, whatever you want to do, go back to your home country, but you must be here for 183 days. Now, if you have a permanent residency, they want you actually to be a part of Serbia and be living here. Yes, you can go on vacations, you can take day trips, a couple weeks down to Greece like a true Serbian would, whatever it might be. But if you're going to be gone 6 months, a year, whatever it is, that's grounds for you to lose your permanent residency status. And so, you know, you're going to have to notify the Serbian authorities and ask them what they deem as acceptable, as not acceptable. It might be a case-by-case basis. It might be, you know, they're going to ask you what are the reasons. Like if you had a death in the family or you had to go take care of your sick mother, that might be acceptable. Again, that's not something that we can control. We can just get you to that permanent residency. Then it's up to you as an individual to maintain it and stay within the laws. We can't physically, you know, hold you by a chain and say don't go onto that airplane and because you're going to be gone for a year. If you want to go and leave for a year, that is up to you. You can't come crying to us saying, hey, listen, you guys screwed me, or hold us accountable for it. That is out of our controls. Most everyone that we work with are adults here, and so you have to you know, run your life like an adult. And the fifth point and the final point is going to be if you voluntarily give up your residency. And so if you move to another country, you decide, you know, Serbia is, you know, you don't want the residency, you've applied for a different visa status. Those are all things that, you know, of course will you know, get you to lose your permanent residency here, regardless of, you know, what we've helped you with and the path that we've taken you down and, you know, gotten you to obtain that. You might have to start back from zero again and go through that temporary process again. And that's something that we can facilitate here. So regardless of what your problem is when it comes to temporary residency, permanent residency, citizenship application, we can do that here. However, there are things that you have to hold and be responsible for and look after to maintain those statuses. If you have any questions with moving to Serbia, or if you're looking to, you know, come and visit Serbia first, you may look into getting our tourist guide or our relocation guide first. Those will give you an in-depth look of what to expect here, where to visit, some of the processes, cost of living, so on and so forth. But if you're looking to move forward with any of those processes, please feel free to reach out to us at relocationserbia.com and book a consultation in, and let's get that process started. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button if you like this video. Hit the bell notification and subscribe if you have not subscribed. I'll see you on the next one.